We're going to walk you through the installation of the J&L Oil Separator for your 3.6 liter Ram 1500. Including the J&L kit is a fully assembled oil separator with quick connect fittings, a mounting bracket, and 2 mounting screws. The tools you're going to need for installation is a 10mm socket, a short extension, a ratchet, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's get started. We need to locate our factory PCV line. So on the driver's side of the truck, this line right here, it's going across the intake manifold and underneath this harness protector, electrical harness protector. It's going to the back of the passenger side valve cover, way in the back. So we got to get that line out. So to get that line out, we need to first loosen up this 10mm bolt here, this 10mm bolt here, and then there's 2 on this side. The one here and the one here. So we're going to take those 4 bolts out, then we'll disconnect our line, and that should buy us enough space to lift up on this protector here to snake the line out. Let's remove our bolts. These bolts are pretty tight. I'm going to use a cordless ratchet because I have it available, but do this with regular hand tools. Get that one out. That one out, and then on our other side. Lastly, the line holding this little coolant line. So what this is going to do is allow us to lift up on that just enough to get that fitting by. There's another bolt or 2 if you really want to get back there, but it's not necessary. Now to remove these fittings, you'll see this gray button that's on the top. You have to press that gray button in and pull the fitting off. These are also pretty tight, but it pulls off. So again, all I did is press this and then pulled the fitting off. So now we'll disconnect it from the valve cover side and we'll work on snaking that out of there. All right, for this one, you're gonna be pretty much laying in the engine bay because this fitting can't get any further from you. The push button is on the back side of the fitting, so closest to the firewall. So I'm just gonna reach in there and pull up and pull out. So now this thing is secured also on a clip. You see that there? You can, I'll show you a better picture of that, but I just disconnected it. So that is out. All right, so you got our line, you have our PCV line that is running behind this evap, this other evap, which is just all kind of just sitting in little attachments that you can pull off and buy yourself some more space. You could also disconnect this airbox breather line and pull that out of the little grooves there, and that's going to make our line a lot looser. But pretty much we just need to snake this out. So it's coming. Okay, so you can see this thing is shaped like an M, but you saw I got that out, no camera tricks. So we'll just make sure we clip our lines back in that we took out. And then this was the little clip that the line was in. This was on the bottom though, okay? But how this works, just got this little tab here. So all you gotta do is pull it forward, even when it's below, to unclip it, and that'll release the line. Or you could just pull that clip out too, but that's more stuff to have to fight under here. So anyway, that's the hard part. So we got that out. We can go ahead and fasten all the bolts that we removed, because we're not going to be running our lines under that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just plug my air box back in and start working all my bolts back in. The bolt you took out with the little tiny washer is for this coolant line. So I'm going to get that started. Get the one here started. I'm going to get all my bolts started and then I'll tighten them up. Okay, so we got that reassembled. Now we just need to install our oil separator. Now we're going to go ahead and prep our oil separator for installation. We're going to do that by taking the supply J&L bracket and mounting it to the oil separator. You'll notice that there's J&L logos on both. You're going to align those two logos for the proper orientation, and then use the supplied screws to fasten the bracket to the oil separator. Now our mounting location for this oil separator is this 10mm bolt off of the coolant expansion tank, so we need to remove that bolt. And then you're going to grab your oil separator assembly. The mounting bracket is actually going to go in between the coolant tank and the bracket it was sitting on, so not on top, but wedged between. I'm just going to feed our lines back into place. Lift up on the tank. And then you're going to use that same bolt to secure it. I'm just going to snug this bolt up for now. I'm not going to tighten it all the way because we might need to adjust. So make sure you can still move your bracket, and we'll tighten that up last. Now to connect our hoses, the hose here that's most forward with the 90-degree fitting is going to go to your intake. A few notes on this: use the curvature of the hose to your advantage. See, right now it's naturally curving this way. You can adjust the hose on the fitting by twisting it. Also, these fittings, we want it to be pointing towards the intake fitting, okay? If this fitting was facing this direction, we don't want to twist that line all up and kink it. So just grab the fitting, twist it how you need it. If these fittings, sometimes they don't move as easy as this because this was just assembled, but if you grab it and twist it, it will break free and then they'll spin all the way around. Also, to remove our fittings, just like the factory, they have a push button release. So you press this in. Don't remove these clips. Some people make that mistake, but you'll break them. So simply just a push button. So we're going to push this onto the connection. You'll hear a nice positive click. Again, to remove, the push button's on the back side. You see it pushing on those clips and it pulls right off. So let's make that connection. So that's the intake, and that's how we want this hose routed. We want it to run across the manifold. It's okay to sit on this harness protector, just resting on it, but a nice gradual bend to the oil separator to avoid any trouble with kinks. So on our other line, you want that 45-degree fitting that's in this line to be pointing down. All right, so pointing down towards the valve cover, and that's gonna make our connection nice and easy. So we're gonna feed this back. You kind of gotta do this blindly just because you have to get up on the engine. I'll try to get you back there with me. All right, so this is our line from the catch can. You see our PCV fitting there in the corner. So with our angle fitting facing down like that, push it onto the PCV. You'll hear it snap. This one releases the same way as the other one. If you had to push it, push that green button in and just pull up on the fitting. Now our final step is to just fasten our bolt here. So you just want to check fitment on all your hoses, make sure they're not hitting anything hard. If you're using the optional extension, you want to make sure that you clear this coolant line with it. But that's about it. So I'm just going to pull this back and to snug that up. It's nice and sturdy, and that's it. Now to check your oil separator, you're just gonna grab the can and spin it. You'll dump your whatever's in the can, clean your can out wherever you would recycle your used oil. Many auto parts stores will take this to reinstall it. Screw it back on. Get it until the O-ring stops the reservoir, just like on an oil filter, and then you're just going to give it about another half a turn, and that's it. That's all she needs. If you tighten it more than that, it'll be very, very, very difficult to get off after a couple thousand miles. So just be careful on that. Well, that completes your installation. What you're going to want to do is after 500 to 1,000 miles of driving, you want to check your reservoir and see what you got. Average collection rate on these 3.6 liters, we have a bunch of kits for these motors and many different applications, is a little over an ounce, if not a bit more, every 1,000 miles. So it's definitely something you want to keep an eye on. This kit is compatible with our extension that doubles the capacity from 3 ounces to 6 ounces. So if you have a daily driver, I would suggest that you get the extension. The extension can be added at any time, so even if you want to just get the regular kit first, see how it goes, you can always add the extension later. But make sure you keep an eye on it. Every motor can be a little different depending on driving style, where you live, the time of year, and a few other factors. So keep an eye on it. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.